4 wins in 5 and we're into the top half of the table for the first time this season. We are League One's in-form side, but hard work has only just begun. We travel to the first time ever to Morecambe's Mazuma Stadium, and our aim is, of course, to keep that momentum rolling. Just the one change as Chris Gunter comes in for the injured Jason Pearce, as the lads look to make it 3 league wins on the spin. Ahead of kick-off, we'll hear, as always, from caretaker boss Johnny Jackson. We'll also speak to under-23s coach Anthony Hayes, as well as defender Sam Lavelle, who gives us the inside track on all things Morecambe. And we take another look back at Saturday's brilliant win here at the Valley against Plymouth. Joining Curbs and myself in the Charlton TV studio, presented by DNEL, it is, of course, he won't let you down. He's Stevie Brown, although you let me down today.
Oh,
I have to say, in the golf.
Let's not go there this early, because I come back like a stormtrooper back 9, but there's your winner. There's your winner.
That's why I'm going red.
So the 3 of us played golf with Dave Ward. Got to give him a mention as well. Dave, great to play with you. Curbs, you were on fire today, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I don't know where it come from, but I was well happy.
Yeah. Absolute bandito. But anyway, we'll move swiftly on. And Brandy, I saw you looking at the TV screen there. I know you was expecting your sort of goals again, but we've already shown them twice this season, so I don't want any more complaints.
And you've got a little bit more time to fill tonight. I mean, 20 seconds of my clips just isn't enough.
The big question ahead of this evening is, though, Curbs, will you get a word in tonight?
I'm going to go silent on this one at the moment because he says I'm giving him too much stick.
Is that right?
He was chatty this afternoon, wasn't he? A little bit chatty this afternoon, especially when people were putting.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you were putting, it didn't make any difference, though.
No.
But seriously, though, how much are you looking forward to tonight?
Well, I am. You know what? We was talking today, you know, we came in at the weekend really looking forward to the game because we knew it was going to be a great atmosphere. But we're coming in with a new confidence, aren't we? I think that looking at the way we're playing, etc. Morecambe had a great result at the weekend, so I think this is just a bigger test as Plymouth. You know, we're going to come down from a great performance and a great atmosphere, and then there's a realisation that you're not at the biggest stadium. It's really tight. I'm pleased. I've never been to Morecambe, but I've just seen clips of the stadium, and the pitch looks tidy, so that shouldn't be a problem. But you know, it's a totally different ball game tonight, and we're going to have to adapt to get the result.
3 wins out of 3, I do believe, this season in the studio. You confident in making it 4?
Yeah, why not? Let's go yes. Otherwise, I get pegged as being half glass empty and doom and gloom. So let's go yes. But yeah, I'm with Curbs. I think if you think about the emotion of Saturday and the mental approach to the game, with all the fans coming in and the atmosphere, it was such a good performance that I think all 3 of us have sort of said in different guises that it's got a totally different feel tonight, you know, but it's equally as important. It's just one of those ones where, you know, I never complain about being a footballer, but you've been there where you have to go up to a hotel, sit in the room all afternoon, not a lot to do, and you're waiting for the game, and there's a lot of nervous energy just being used up, just sitting there, just thinking about the game, and in some respects you just want to get there and play.
Well, I think that's worth mentioning because like the preparation, you know, I think Thomas Sandgar's got to be given a real plus point here today because the team went up yesterday, stayed overnight, and after the game this evening they're going to stay overnight again, so that they get the rest, they get a proper night's sleep instead of arriving back at the Valley at 4 or 5 or even later in the morning. You know, so they're preparing, looking towards Shrewsbury at the weekend. Yeah. I mean that is Premier League really. When you think about it, not League One and not even Championship. So,
well, you think Curbs back into the days of the Championship. We've got back 6, 7 a.m. in the morning from Middlesbrough on a Tuesday night. Yeah. You know, and it is a killer.
And you can't get to sleep. You know, you try to, but your family's awake in the morning. You're trying to sleep during the day, and then you're completely out of sync. And then you come in on the Thursday. Suddenly, you might have another away game like they have this Friday. Going to travel to Shrewsbury Friday. So yeah, big plus point for Thomas, and you know, putting his hand in his pocket for the preparation.
Absolutely. Well, look, if you haven't got a match pass now and you're not going up to Morecambe, then please do so. It's just £10. It should be a really good game tonight. Really looking forward to it. But let's get cracking. Kick-off less than 45 minutes away and hear from Johnny Jackson, who spoke to Charlton TV a little bit earlier.
Okay, Jacko, you said it after Saturday's game. It's all about momentum, isn't it? And here we go again. It's just about keep doing what we're doing.
That's right, yeah, the game's come round quickly. Lads put a real shift in on Saturday, and you know, we need them to do it again here on a Tuesday night. Difficult place to come. Morecambe, you know, they've got threats that we need to be aware of, but we're in a good place. Boys are confident. You know, there's a great mood amongst them, so we're confident that we can keep a run going.
Just the one change this evening. Gunter comes in for Piercy. We've been having to show some versatility at the back there, but no one better than Chris Gunter than to do that, is there?
Absolutely. I thought he came in on Saturday when the skip got injured, and Gunter just slotted in seamlessly there. So, like you say, everyone that's been asked to do that so far since I've been taking the side has done it. We've lost numerous defenders already, and then the lads that have come into the side have done the job, and then someone else has gone out and someone else has come in and done the job. So it'll be no different tonight. Gunts knows that role, he's comfortable in it, and got no qualms with him playing there.
We've seen John Leacoe as well. He's made the journey tonight. Maybe doesn't make the bench, but that's a real positive ahead of Saturday, isn't it, that we've got someone like him nearly back and ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wanted Leeds to travel with the squad to keep him around it, so he can keep hearing the messages that we're giving. I think it was too soon for him to be involved. He just hasn't had enough training under his belt yet. But keeping him close with the squad, and he can work with Josh Hornby while he's up here, so we can really monitor his training load with a view to him being back involved at the weekend.
And it goes from one extreme to another. 26,000 at the Valley on Saturday. More modest surroundings tonight. It's going to be a cold one as well, a midweeker up north like this. But we showed at Burton 10 days ago that doesn't faze the lads, and we know what this sort of environment is all about.
Absolutely, you have to turn up to these places with the right attitude. I've said that to the lads. You know, if you come off of it and you turn up thinking, you know, you've got a God-given right to win, then that's when you come unstuck, and they won't do that. They won't come off it. They'll keep driving each other. If we do that, I believe we've got the capabilities to win.
And nearly 700 fans, we believe, have bought advance tickets to make the journey up here tonight, maybe a few more arriving on the day. It's one of the furthest trips of the season, this, and on a Tuesday night, that's pretty incredible, isn't it? They continue to excel themselves.
Unbelievable support. When I heard that number, I couldn't believe it, to be honest. Like you say, it's the other end of the country. It's a Tuesday night, it's cold, it's close to Christmas, you know. Just amazing that we're bringing that type of support. So credit to every single one of them that's made the journey. Thank him for their support as always, and try and give them something to shout about.
Good luck, Jacko.
And you've certainly done that so far, Jacko, I have to say. So just the one change then. Chris Gunter comes in for the injured Jason Pearce. 3-5-2 formation. Curbs, it's about trying to keep a settled side as much as possible, isn't it? And Jacko's trying to do that.
Absolutely. Go back to what you said when the first game at Sunderland. You know, this is the team I've picked. You're in charge of it. You know, you've got the shirt. Try and stay there.
Did you think there might be more changes, considering how physically maybe the game on Saturday took out?
I think that first half was the most intense first half we've had. We didn't get any joy from it, did we, really? And so it took a lot out of them. But you know what? When you're playing well and winning, you're not that tired. You're not that tired.
I think it's a sign that the lads are playing really well, Brownie, isn't it? And the fact that they probably say, even if they are tired, you don't tell the gaffer all the time, to be honest with you, do you?
Well, can you imagine rocking up to the next training session and going, actually, gaffer, I could do a miss in the next one? Well, you never do when you're winning like we're winning at the moment. I wouldn't have ever done it regardless. Putting a shirt on was the be-all and end-all for me. So, but in terms of the form they're in and the confidence they should have, in their own individual ability at the moment as well as the team, it's not going to get much higher than it is right now.
Good to see Mason Burstow and Deji also on the bench as well.
Yeah, there is a pathway, and I'm sure if they're doing it in training and the opportunity arises, then they will get their chance.
OK, well, let's have a look at the league table then, shall we? Starting with the bottom half. And for the first time this season, we are not in it. Tonight's opponents, Morecambe, are, though. They're in 18th position in what is their first ever season at this level. Quite incredible for a team like Morecambe, you have to say. They got a great win away at local rivals Fleetwood on Saturday. And their winner came in stoppage time from striker Cole Stockton. Let's have a look at it. There we go. And was scored from the halfway line, inside his own half. That one, chaps.
Fantastic. Beckham-like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think if you're the centre half there,
I love your thinking.
just got bullied, and then the keeper's waving at his defence for letting him shoot from 50 yards. I don't know what the keeper's waving his arms for. It's 10 yards outside his box. But it's a wonderful finish. I think it's the same player. He did something very similar, slightly more advanced, probably about 45 yards, but turned and did it like an up and under from way out that bounced once and into the back of net. I think that was earlier on in the season as well. So he's got a little bit of a reputation. He is their top scorer. You know, he's the one person that we need to really keep an eye on and stop this tonight. And funny enough, the second top scorer, he's been left out, and the one under that's injured. So he is their main man for goals and assists.
OK, well, there's a shot, though, Brownie, talking about defenders not defending properly. Let's have a look at the top half of the table, shall we? It's great to see that we are in the top half. We're 12th, 9 points off the playoffs. If you win and results go our way, we could end the night in the top 10. Plymouth still lead the way despite their 16-match unbeaten run being ended here on Saturday. We'll have a little bit more of that later. And Plymouth are actually the only team in the top 7 not to win on Saturday. Curbs, look, a couple of weeks ago, it was great for us to get out of the relegation zone. We've ticked that box, jumped into the top half. How much relief is there in that, and how much belief will something like that give to the players?
Yeah, listen, you're looking upwards now. You know, I think the position we found ourselves in 4 or 5 weeks ago was disastrous, and you know, and confidence was really low on and off the pitch. You know, the fans and the players. But it's changed, and you know why, because we've been winning games. The results change everything, and you know, I think with Johnny Jackson, because of the results as well, we've had, you know, really, I think he's been, with his team selection, he's been, as we've been saying, you know, you're in charge, it's up to you to keep your shirt, but that has brought decent results because the team know what they're doing, and one comes out and one goes in. And it's as simple as that.
9 points off the playoffs there, Brownie. Sunderland do have a couple of games in hand, but it's just about chipping away, isn't it? Game by game.
Yeah, I think we were in a false position. Let's not make any bones about that in terms of where we were sat when we were in the relegation zone. But all you can do is peg away and pick away at the points in terms of what we're behind, and they're doing that. And I said to you a couple of weeks ago that you're clawing teams back down with you. You know, and actually the teams below us at the moment aren't faring so well, and we're climbing the league. But there is still that 9-point gap. That hasn't actually come down as much as you would have hoped with the run that we're on. But what it has done, the gap above that is only 5. So if you can catch 6, you're actually not a million miles off the top spot now. And like I said,
I love the way you're talking, Brownie. Just a few
yeah,
weeks
well,
ago,
I think you're rubbing off on me a little bit. Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah. You've started seeing it half glass full these days, which is, you ask Mrs. Brown, it's just not often happen.
When you think about it, you know, we've said we need a magnificent run to get into that top 6, but it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be. We just played 3 of the top 4 teams. Is that right?
Yeah.
And now we've got teams in the bottom.
Well, the next
5
2
or 6.
teams,
Yeah.
games are going to be important.
And we've got to take advantage.
Yeah.
And can you imagine if we get the 2 results tonight and Saturday? Got the FA Cup coming up, but after that, you know, we'd be looking like another win. We might just be out of the top 6.
I mean, you have to say that if you go back a month, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but people will go, it's a relegation dogfight. You know, we're in relegation trouble here.
You were one of them.
No, I never thought we were relegation. I expected us to have more points on the board than we did, but never pegged us as a relegation team. Not once. I knew we were going to get out of it.
But top 6 looked a long way away.
Wouldn't even imagine we were going to make top 6.
Mr. Optimistic.
Yeah, what I would say to you is would have kind of written off us making the playoffs.
Yeah.
But you can see what can happen in a short space of time if you can get the team to get 4 or 5 results on the spin. Suddenly the optimism does jump. And that's where we're at right now.
Teams dropping points, and they could well do tonight as well. There is a full fixture list in League One, with a few clubs in the top half coming up against each other. Ipswich welcome Rotherham to Portman Road. Sheffield Wednesday host MK Dons at Hillsborough. Shrewsbury, who travelled on to Saturday at home to Sunderland. Sunderland got an excellent 2-0 win over Ipswich to stay 6th. Standout fixture for you guys? I mean, for me, it's Ipswich-Rotherham, but again, I always look at the team in 6th. That's Sunderland. Yeah,
and you got look, Plymouth and Wycombe. Teams are up the top. You know, that's a big game. No, I think you look at the fixtures week in, week out, and you go, look, massive club there and another club there. It's such a strong league, but you know, it is a league that you can take full advantage of if you're playing well. And I think the thing about the results we've got at the moment, the last 4 or 5 weeks, you know, we've took injuries, but people have come in and took the baton and said, right, you know, I'm in here now, and I'm gonna stay in there if I can. I mean, you'd have thought 4 or 5 weeks ago, couldn't do without Stockley. You know, you couldn't do without this one, with that one. But people are coming in and going, I'm in now, and it's up to you to shift me.
OK, more on today shortly, but let's get to club news updates now, shall we? And start off with ticketing news, as we always do. Tickets for our next 3 home games against Aston Villa under-21s in the Papa John's Trophy, Ipswich and Cambridge are all on sale. Adult tickets for the cup match against Villa under-21s are just a £5, and adult prices for the 2 league matches start at just £18. Head to booking.cafc.co.uk to get yours. Supporters are also reminded that half-season tickets are now on sale, with adult prices starting at just £110. If you were here on Saturday and aren't a season ticket holder, then why not sign yourself up for the remainder of the season? It is like that every week. Promise? Maybe not. Streaming news now, and a reminder that you can watch tonight's game live on Charlton TV anywhere in the world. So if you're watching us on social media and haven't purchased your match pass yet, then what are you waiting for? We've got the dream team in Curbs and Brownie this evening, and you can purchase your match pass on cafc.co.uk for just a tenner. Charlton's under-18s booked their place in round 3 of the FA Youth Cup by beating AFC Wimbledon 2-0. After extra time on Friday night, captain Jason Anigan broke the deadlock in the 97th minute. And Mac Riley sealed the victory late on, and Hamzat Sarar's side will now face Northampton Town away from home in the next round. A date for the tie has not been agreed just yet. Curbs, one for you. Looking forward to it? Just a few days until an evening with Alan Curbishley takes place here at the Valley.
Not everyone's going to come and meet me, are they? You know, it's a dinner which I'm looking forward to.
Have you not been told? You've got to queue up afterwards?
Yeah, and see some old faces.
Yeah. The last few tickets, what promises to be a great evening, and it should be a really enjoyable evening, are still available to purchase, and you can get yours by emailing events@cafc.co.uk or calling 0208 333 40 40. That is 0208 333 40 40. And it was great news at half-time during the Charlton women's team game against London City Lionesses on Sunday, as Charlton upbeat member Jonathan West hit the crossbar in the Valley Goal Crossbar Challenge to win himself £150. Jonathan, you sent me that on social media. You know I've replied to you. You are an absolute legend. There was also great news on the pitch at the Oakwood on Sunday, as Karen Hills' Addicts made it back-to-back victories. A first-half header for Mia Ross put the Addicts ahead at the Oakwood. And then, look at this, Brownie, a calamitous own goal from former Addict Harley Bennett put the result to bed. The result kept Karen Hills' side 6th in the FA Women's Championship. Brownie, ever scored an own goal like that?
No, the only other own goals I got were deflections in, trying to make a block. I never actually did one of those, no.
We did try to find a calamitous Steve Brown own goal,
You
and he's
won't
actually
find one.
right. There wasn't one.
No.
But have a look at this one from... Go on, Cubs.
I was going to say, I think I might have blamed you for one or two.
Yeah, without any...
Do you remember this one? Dean Blackwell.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Charlton, and when you're down the bottom, that's the kind of luck you need. We've had 2 crazy goals tonight.
Have a look here as he turns around.
They're 2-0 up.
Oh, dear.
Decent left.
Can you remember a really bad own goal at all?
No, I think the best one for me wasn't an own goal, but you remember when Klaus got tackled at Man City and it went in from about 50 yards? It was the most bizarre goal I've seen for a long time.
I did hold the record for a decade for the quickest own goal in the Champions League.
Ah.
Yeah.
How'd it come about?
Wasn't my fault, of course. Header down. Michel Prudhomme's gone one way. It's come off me, gone in the other side of the net. Yeah, and a few people love telling me that one as well. Let's move swiftly on now, shall we? It was Armed Forces Day at the Valley on Saturday, and last week Charlton TV spoke to Charlton Athletic Museum trustee Clive Harris.
I think one of the important things about Charlton Athletic is how much the Great War plays in our development as a football club. You know, from a bunch of schoolboys that decided to set up the East Street Kids to set up that football club in 1905, and as soon as they started winning games, they started going through the leagues. There was obviously a vacuum left when Arsenal went to North London, and just as Charlton were on the cusp of developing into a really significant local side, the Great War starts in August 1914. And you know, Charlton are one of the first teams to decide to stop playing football and actually go and fight the greater game, as they called it, overseas, enlist in the army and get themselves out not only to France but to all four corners of the world. Of course, when the war ends, some of them don't come back, and in the case of Charlton, we've got at least 3 players that we know of that were killed, or 3 members of the staff that were killed that don't return. And that, together with the amount of the local population that was lost in France, took a heavy toll on the community. But as Charlton decided to start playing again, turn professional, and most important of all, move into the valley where we are now, it was almost, the football club was used as a way of the community rebounding from the Great War. And a lot of what we see around us today is generally down to that Great War experience. Charlton became the community, and I think one of the things you think about with us today is that we are still a community club. It's passed down from generation to generations, and really without the Great War shaping us and pushing us forward the way we did, the establishment of this fantastic ground in this community, I don't think we'd be the club we are today.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic insight from Clive there, and fans can watch an extended interview with him at cafc.co.uk. Now, of course, we are facing Morecambe tonight, so who better to speak to than a former Morecambe defender, now Addicks defender, Sam Lavelle. Sam, can you hear me?
Hey, mate, yeah, all good.
Good, good. First of all, how's the injury?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate, as well as it can be. Surgery went well, all the post-surgery things have gone well, so yeah, I can't ask for more really, and I'm doing pretty well, I think.
Brilliant. I mean, things have changed a bit in recent weeks, haven't they, I have to say. What's the chat been like in the treatment room?
Good, all positive, and like you say, it feels like a new era at the moment at Charlton. So yeah, all positive in a change room, and everyone in the physio room is itching to get back, like myself. So yeah, all positive around all the place at the moment.
Brilliant. How strange does it feel to be at Morecambe and be in the away dressing room?
Yeah, it feels. I've seen so many faces, fans, staff, players that I've had to catch up with quickly. But it's nice to be back. Yeah, it's different here as well. But yeah, it feels strange. But hopefully you can beat them tonight and get one over them.
Look, I mean, you're at Morecambe for 4 years and part of an incredible journey as well. What are your standout memories of being there?
It's got to be Wembley last year, especially being captain, lifting the trophy with all my family and friends there. That was something I'll never forget. So definitely Wembley, and just a contrast between when I first signed. We were bottom of the league every single year, just staying up by 1 or 2 points. So last year was a one-off, and it was unbelievable.
Listen, talk to us about Morecambe right now. I'm sure you still keep in contact with the lads. Who's the danger man? What do you make of their season so far?
Good. I think he started off pretty well. He had a bit of a dip. The danger man is probably Stockton, that everyone knows. He's scored some brilliant goals. He's the strongest player I've played with and probably against. So I told a few of the defenders tonight to look out for him and told them his strengths and weaknesses. So Stockton definitely. Some of the midfield players are tricky and good. But I think if we're physical tonight and match them that way, we'll have too much of them on the floor.
Have our lads come to you and asked you specifically about who they might be coming up against and what they're like?
A little bit, yeah. I spoke to Akin before about Stockton. Just told him what he can do against him. But other than that, no, not really. I think everyone's confident enough in our ability and the players we've got to beat anyone. So it's quite a good feeling, not worrying too much about the opposition at the moment and focusing on ourselves, which we should do.
Look, I'm sure a lot of Charlton fans are watching on social media, but those who are making their way towards Morecambe, tell us about Morecambe, the place as well, best chip shop. What else is there?
Yeah, there's quite a few chip shops. I'm from Blackpool, which is 40 minutes away from Morecambe, but yeah, there's not much about it. There's a nice bay. That's about it, really. The other side, the B&Bs and stuff aren't great, if I'm honest. But yeah, nice people here. proper Northerners. But yeah, a bit different to London.
There must be some decent pubs as well.
2 decent pubs, mate. Yeah, well, I think we found out about that in the playoffs. The local pubs were pretty good.
Yeah, I bet you did a pub crawl there. Look, Brownie didn't want to travel all the way to Morecambe out tonight, but tell us, what's he missing out on? How good is it up there?
It's a good family club. That's what it's known for in the northern parts of England. Fans have always been great with me. It's a small club. Everyone knows that. So to be where they are today is unbelievable. And their target is just to stay up this year and try and become a League One club. So a bit different stages to Charlton, but yeah, it's a good place up here. Like I say, nice people and nice little club. So I hope they do well for the future, but obviously not tonight.
Absolutely. Final one, and back at you as well. How frustrating has it been, being injured and watching the lads doing so well? How desperate are you to get back?
Frustrating, yeah, but I'm so happy that we're turning the corner, honestly. From Sunderland away, when obviously I got injured that game, but since then it's just been a completely different team, different vibe. Everyone's so positive, everyone's loving training. So yeah, I am itching to get back, but I'll do my rehab properly. I'll benefit from this, hopefully, mentally and physically as well. So yeah, I'll take the positives, but at the same time, I'm absolutely buzzing to turn the corner, and hopefully when I'm back in mid-January, something like that, I can push for the top end of the table.
Absolutely. Well, Sam, listen, you've already made an impression with Charlton. Good luck with the rehab as well. And we certainly hope to see you back on the pitch very soon indeed.
So, man, cheers for that, mate.
I've got to ask a question before we move on, actually. He seems like a really good lad, doesn't he? And he's come in at a difficult time as well.
And he was doing OK.
Yeah.
Until the injury came along. And I don't think any of us thought it was that severe. He'd be out that long. I mean, it is a bit of a problem at the moment, isn't it? The centre-back situation. Pearce is out now. Innes is out. We can't afford to take too many more hits there.
Yeah, he fits the criteria of what the club's trying to build, doesn't he? Young, can develop, hopefully improve and see us climb the league with him in it, as opposed to climbing the league and moving him on. But yeah, it's a very good move for him, and I think if we can remain, in terms of results we're getting him back in, I think he's proven himself to be a decent warrior back there, hasn't he? I think he's one of those ones that will protect the box well for you. And I think if we can develop the other aspects of his game, I think we might be able to make some money on that one.
It's interesting, Bernie, when he said about, the physical side tonight. It may be that the centre-backs get a real, perhaps, scrutinised with, it's windy there, and etc. And it is up north and whatever. And we know what that means, but it is going to be up to them 3 centre-backs to stand firm.
My worry is there that he's talking about strength, and from what we see of Akin, he does like to prove himself, doesn't he, physically? Hope that doesn't get, embed itself too much where it becomes too physical. But yeah, he didn't mention Tyson Fury. Is he not Morecambe?
He is. Yeah, he is.
And then Eric. Morecambe.
Oh. Moving swiftly on.
He must have been waiting for that all day.
I know. I was with him on a Tyson Fury one. Look, let's take a look back at the game against Plymouth on Saturday, because you have to say it was a superb performance as well as result as well. I mean, Curbs, how would you sum it up?
I'll tell you what the biggest thing was. We couldn't pick man of the match. Everybody had a different one. I mean, because all of them were absolutely excellent. And, the amount of effort they put into that first half, I was a bit concerned that they never got anything from it because of the way they played. But they just went from strength to strength. And what I liked about it, when we attacked, we had bodies in the box, and when we had to defend, we got lots of bodies in the box.
Yeah, I liked it, the fact that, 0-0 at half-time, and we were thinking, what's going to happen? I thought there'd be another 15 minutes and then they might blow out. But there were different layers to the game. There was different questions being asked during the game. And they seemed to come out trumps all the time. I mean, how pleased would you have been if you were Jacko, Brownie?
Yeah, I think the biggest aspect for me was when we take the lead here, and that was, I'll tell you what, I said on the day how well Parenton did there to read the situation, to back away from it, knowing that hopefully they'd cancel each other out going for that ball. But the biggest bit for me was that Plymouth had a very, very good period when they fell behind, and the resilience we showed in that period then sets us up for this second on the counter later in the game. And I thought that was pivotal, that when we were on the back foot, we didn't concede.
Well, it's a good point, because we've only conceded 1 goal in Jacko's 5 games in charge, when we were conceding left, right and centre, weren't we?
Well, that's been the big difference, isn't it? Honestly, we were coming in to saying that, we've got to score 2 goals to get a point. But this is a terrific finish. I didn't know if he was in the late square. He had nothing else in his mind really, Washington, that he was going to finish it. And it reminded me of the old days, you know, where we got our noses in front and we sat deep and we hit people on the break, and you know, and it looks as if we wasn't going to concede. So for me, it was just the perfect performance against a top side with a great crowd.
Yeah.
Totally different set of rules tonight is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and different skills are going to be needed.
Yeah. But what does it tell us about the lads that they played the league leaders? It was great ticketing initiative, but a lot of pressure coming out because it was pretty much a full valley. But they did beat them, and well.
Well, you know, the initiative's great, but you still got to put on a performance. And this is against a side that hadn't lost since the opening day of the season in the league. You know, they were absolutely banging form, and I listened to you after Curb saying I don't quite know what they were great at. You know, whatever they were great at worked for that 16-game unbeaten run, and actually you would never have known they'd been on that, looking at the two sides out there.
Didn't we? We nullified all their threats, which what Jacko was talking about earlier. We know what Morecambe's threats are, and we've got to deal with it. They dealt with Plymouth's threats at the weekend, and then went the other way, which was great.
Let's talk about the support from the stands, shall we? You were out there on the gantry, weren't you? What was it like?
Well, the covered end hasn't been like that for a long time. I said that during commentary. We took the lead, and actually they were in full voice for a good 5 or 10 minutes after that goal. And what that does is it creates a wonderful atmosphere around here, and it then suddenly starts to filter down the sides of the ground as well. You have to give Plymouth credit for filling the Jimmy Seed stand, because that did add to the atmosphere. But what you hope is that people that came for the first time really, really enjoyed that. They probably did see our best performance. We are heading in the right direction, but what you hope is all the youngsters that came, all the parents that brought those youngsters really enjoyed it so much that they come back again. But yeah, certainly the covered end is, that's the noisiest they've been for some time.
Yeah, we praised it after the game. We mentioned about the ticketing initiative. I mean, it's a fantastic idea from Thomas, wasn't it? And fair play to him. One season ticket holder can bring in 3 people for free.
Yeah. No, it was great initiative, and you couldn't have wished for a better day.
No.
The whole thing was perfect, wasn't it? And, you know, I think that hopefully some of the people that came for nothing, you know, would have bought a programme, would have bought a pie, would have bought a pint, you know, and maybe even gone to the club shop. But hopefully they will come back, and, you know, they're hooked a little bit, especially the youngsters. They're the ones we've got to hook in, you know, the 7, 8, 9-year-olds, you know, and then if you can keep them, then they become your fans for generation upon generation.
Yeah. One new set of Charlton supporters may be the neighbours that Michelle Beaumont, who posted on Facebook to say that she'd used their free tickets to invite her Syrian refugee neighbours. I mean, fantastic to see. Curbs, Charlton's all about the community, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and why not have them coming back? You know, they might want to come back, but as I say, we've got to generate an atmosphere here. Yeah. You know, and
you think you said on Saturday as well that you feel it could be even better.
Yeah, absolutely. You? I mean, Jacko said it was rocking, but it wasn't rocking. I know we talk about the old days, and we don't.
There's a couple of levels above that.
Yeah, there's a couple of levels above that, but you know, it's a start, and you know, perhaps the club might do it again. You know, and try and get another full house. I think if they do it again, and the way we're playing, it will sell out completely. I don't know how many was here the weekend, but there won't be an empty seat if we carry on playing like we are and we do that initiative again.
It was getting close to kick-off and the people still trying to get in, actually. Yeah. So, again, that shows perhaps they forgot how busy it can be.
Not used to seeing a crowd.
Great to see the numbers. Look, with Jacko still in caretaker charge, the first team is still currently a member of staff down. And that means that under-23's head coach Anthony Hayes is up in Morecambe tonight. And yesterday, CharltonTV caught up with him.
Between myself and Dan Sender from the 23s, we're just supporting John. Fabulous experience for ourselves as developing staff, and just really, really enjoying the exposure. Got so many wonderful examples for our young players, and I think what makes it special here is that it's tangible. You know, if you're a 15, 16-year-old and you're looking at someone in the present like a Deji Arua, you know, it's something that nearly is within grasp. So I think it's the history of the players that have come through here, represented our first team at young at young age that have gone on to obviously play at a higher level, and that's continued. It's something that us within the academy are working desperately hard to make sure we continue, and we're always looking for the next ones. And at the minute, you know, that's Deji. Recently Mason has done fantastic with the opportunities that he's had. We're excited by the groups, not only at 23s but our under 18s at the minute under Hamza are in great form, playing some fantastic football and are filled with some talented players. So we're excited about what the future holds. And the one thing I think everyone knows here, players, parents, staff, there's a pathway, there's a tradition, there's a history, and they will get a chance. So that fills us all with excitement. I'm doing my pro licence at the minute, so my ambition eventually will be to maybe transition into the senior game. Like I said at the beginning, I'm privileged to be given the opportunity and the exposure at Charlton, but I'm in no rush to go into the senior game as things stand. I'm happy to develop young players and to try and bridge the gap between our 23s and first team, and to ensure our young players have a career in the game. You know, that's ultimately our goal, our ambition, and if that's at Charlton, then fantastic. But we want the players to stay in the game and be paid to play football for a living. But eventually down the line, it is something that definitely interests me, and no more than players, like you said, I see people like Jason, and I see people even like John, who, when I first came here, was working with the 16s on, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evening to refine his coaching skills. So it is something I aspire towards, but I still feel it's at arm's length at the minute.
That's a great opportunity for him up there, isn't it? Experiencing first team thing at the moment.
Yeah, I got to say it's a wonderful experience. You know, got bumped up from obviously 18s to the 23s, which is a super move. Done very, very well with the under 18s. Like I say, they performed very well underneath him. And that next progression is the 23s. He's barely settled into that, and boom, he's up with the first team. So he's got to suck it all in, learn what he can, take it. You know, if he bops down back to the 23s, it's just been a wonderful period. If he doesn't, if he finds himself up with Johnny and Jason, if that's to happen in the next month or so, even better. You know, but he's certainly earned his stripes, hasn't he?
We mentioned earlier, and Anthony mentioned Deji and Mason as well. How helpful is it for someone like Anthony to be up there for those youngsters?
Absolutely, and look, it's a difficult time at the moment. You know, we need to be winning games, but I've said all along, if the youngsters are good enough, but it's much better putting them in when the team's doing well, and the senior players around can help them and encourage them, than putting them in when you're struggling. And you know, it's very, very difficult. But if they're good enough, they will get in. And the way Jacko's talking, you know, if one of them gets the opportunity and he does it, he stays in.
Good to see that Thomas Sangard will be up here for this game. Here he is, looking forward to it. I wonder if it'd be a bit of a culture shock for him, Curbs, up at Morecambe. Looks like he's ready for it, though.
Hope he's got a coat
behind
there. He's got a big
Martin
thick
as well.
puffer coat back there somewhere.
Jed Roddy there too.
Yeah, listen, I think it was great for him the weekend, seeing the Valley full. You know, he's only ever watched the old stuff with Brownie, like scoring from 30 yards and whatever. But
44.
But, you know, it's nice to see the stadium full, and it's the first opportunity he's had for that to happen. And it must have given him a real buzz, and to see the team doing so well. So he's going to, I think, you know what, these next two games, just as difficult as playing the top sides that we have done.
I totally agree.
And, you know, I think it'll go a long way to helping Jacko, if that's the case, if he can get 2 results in the next couple of games. Because, you know, playing against the likes of Plymouth and Rotherham and etc., Sunderland, you know, big crowds and whatever, this is the nitty-gritty stuff.
Yeah.
Away to Morecambe, away to Shrewsbury. Because if we don't get anything in them 2 games, all the hard work that has been done has not been wasted, but you know what, you've missed a chance.
Let's remind ourselves of the team tonight, shall we? Just the one change, of course, with Chris Gunter coming in for Jason Pearce. Kept the 3-5-2 that Jacko wants. And you have to say, and we talked about this earlier, Curbs, as well, Jacko's trying not to make changes. A lot of the changes that he is making are kind of enforced. Yeah. It's 7 changes across the 6 games now. 4 of them are injuries, 2 internationals, and 1 of them suspended. That says everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, enforced. And, you know, consistent team selection, you know, I like to think brings around consistent performances. May not get the result every time, but the way he's set his store out since he took over, 3 at the back, 5 across the middle and 2 up top. That's how we're going to play. And if you come into the side, you've got to fit into it. I don't think he's going to change that. Maybe if he's chasing a game, but certainly to start off with, that's how we're playing. 3 at the back, 5 across midfield and 2 up top.
Yeah, and the reason I talk about a little bit earlier about possibly more changes because people like, should we say, DJ. I suppose up front there isn't really a decision to be made, and the midfield is doing so well, but good to see him starting. He is playing well, and Jacko's probably going to say to him, Brownie, look, just give me 60 minutes, even if it's 45 minutes. Give it your all, because we know you're tired from what happened at the weekend.
Yeah, I think he did that from day one, didn't he? When it went up to Sunderland, he knew there was still a couple of fitness issues with a couple of players. I don't think it was as widespread as we were led to believe before. It was just 1 or 2 that were lacking a little bit of fitness. And he just said, give me that 60, 70 minutes of everything you got, and I'll bring on whoever I need to bring on. They've done that. You know, what I think he's done really well is we've all identified that we thought we needed 2 up front. What sort of formation do you do to get that 2 up front? He decided to go to 3 at the back. The key to me was the 3 central midfielders. Yeah. They have just blended so well. Yeah. So we've got the outlet of 2 up front now. Those 3 midfielders are so energetic. You know, you kind of look at Elliott and you don't think he's doing as much work because Gilby's just off the chart. But actually, when you break down Elliott's game, he's making challenges back in the left spot position in games. You know,
3 of them complement each other.
Very well.
You know, Dobson's all over the place, great engine.
Yeah.
You know, and so has Gilby.
You've got to give Purrington a mention as well, coming back into the team. I think he's been really solid defensively. Everyone's talking about the goals he's getting, but actually he's really solidified that left side.
He's doing everything. He's like Marcos Alonso, I have to say. He's getting forward, he's scoring goals, he's defending really well. Let's have a look at Morecambe's side, though, shall we? Before we're about to kick off, the lads will come out. 18th, as we said earlier, in the table. The first ever time in the 3rd tier of English football. They'd only got 1 point from a possible 18 before their win Saturday. But, you know, as we heard earlier from Sam, you know, they're going to be a dangerous team tonight.
Yeah, I think you'd rather meet them on a Saturday, wouldn't you? Don't really want to go on a Tuesday night, but it's a very winnable game on paper. I think that win will give them a little lift, but they aren't a team in particularly good form. All the statistics will bear those facts, but we've still, you know, like Johnny said in his interview, we have to make sure our side of the game is right. If your mentality's right tonight and we get to any kind of level that we did Saturday, there's 3 points for the taking here.
And listen, there can't be no complaints about the pitch. You know, we're going to try and play our way, and you know, the stadium. You know, it ain't as if you're going to a ground which has got no grass on it and there's a slope and this and that. There's no excuses.
But Curbs, what were you like when you had a fantastic win at the weekend in front of a home crowd against a big team, and then you travel away from home with a small stadium, where the expectation now from all the fans is to win? How much do you accentuate on the physical or actually the mental side of the game?
It's the mental side.
Definitely.
The mental side. And being a little bit humble. Like, we're big fish going to, you know, a small pond, if you like. And, go in there. You know you're strong. You know you're better than the opposition. And go and enforce that. But do it the right way. And, instead of going there and perhaps a back heel there and a back heel there and all that sort of stuff. Go there and impose yourself with the ball and show them that if you give us enough time on the ball, we're really going to hurt you.
Morecambe will be up for this, there's no doubt it, but we are big fish. We have to be mentally right in the first 20 minutes, and then hopefully our quality will see through. Let's get to our commentary team of Terry Smith, Greg Stubley and the legend that is Peter Shirtliff.
Number 20, Jocko Anderson. Number 2, Ray McLaughlin.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Curbs. Thank you, Brownie. So, welcome to the Mazuma Stadium, everyone. Myself, Greg Stubley, are delighted to have Captain Marvel alongside us this evening, Peter Shirtliff. And Peter, after what's been a great few weeks for Johnny Jackson and his side, it's a tough trip to Morecambe, but the Charlton side, we hope the confidence will continue and the winning formula will continue.
You'd like to think so, yeah. 5 games.